What's going on, everybody? This is Al from NCAA 06 Revival, and in the last video we went through all of our off-season shenanigans with Washington State, got all that out of the way. We was able to fill up the rest of the roster with some decent bodies, was able to pick up a couple nice diamonds in the rough, a couple four-star kits that should really help us down the road, and now the real tenure begins in Pullman. Starts today. And before we get into all that, we got to talk about the offense a little bit. I've had some good feedback from some people in the comment section, and one of the finalists for the offense I was going to pick before I picked the full run and shoot was a West Coast offense. And the more I thought about it the last couple of days, the more I felt like that's probably what I need to be running. I have tons of content on the blog. I got videos that covers all the various kinds of run and shoot versions. Plenty of it out there if you want to get into it, but I think for the fact that Washington State, it's a West Coast team, I've never ran a true West Coast offense, or at least I never showed you guys how I would typically run it. That, and you're just going to see a bunch of new stuff I think you're really going to enjoy. I think the West Coast offense just fits the storyline and kind of what I want to do. Plus, it gives me my passing fix. You know me, I love to throw the ball. That, and it's more of a challenge, especially the way I'm going to do it. And let's just go ahead and go to the playbook. Not the roster. Let's go to the playbook. And I'm going to go full-blown West Coast offense, and we're going to do it all, you know, the old school style. Pretty much straight from the 80s. Everything's under center. Every one of these formations has a good West Coast concept of some sort, at least a couple. As of now, these 9 sets give me like the most variety in terms of personnel, in terms of kind of what I'm looking for on the scheme side of things. And over time, I may switch out a formation down the road. I don't know, but I wanted to kind of put a playbook together where I didn't really have to fool with much of it after the fact. So I got it, you know, here's a 12 personnel set, here's 11, here's 10, here's another 10 personnel set, ace bunch, but it gives me a different look, gives me a compressed set, and it's got a couple good West Coast concepts in there. Normal, here's where we get to the real traditional stuff, the 21 and 20 personnel sets. Normal's got about every pass play in that formation has a good West Coast type feel to it that only Bill Walsh would love. Then we get to the really heart of the West Coast offense, going with the pro sets. All 3 of them are going to be in this playbook. There's about, I don't know, 12 to 15 pass plays that all fit kind of what I want to do, just out of three sets alone. So you got a 21, and a 20 personnel set. Then you got weak twins, another 21 set. I wanted to vary it up a little bit and have, you know, some ace, an I, a weak, some pro. I wanted to throw in a strong formation, but I love these 9 formations to death and in terms of what they give me and what I want to accomplish with the offense. So I'm really excited about this just because it's just all the newness to it. It's also a much tougher offense to execute, in my personal opinion, than the run and shoot. Mainly because a lot of the West Coast concepts I'm going to throw out here is a lot of post-snap decisions you have to make. The more post-snap decisions you make, the harder it is to kind of process it all. And when the bullets are flying and you got bodies all over the place trying to knock your head off, it can be pretty tough compared to some other offenses where you only have like 1 or 2 reads. A lot of the pass plays I'm going to show off in here is going to be a lot of, you know, very hard progressions, very lengthy progressions, 1 through 5. All 5 routes are going to be viable, that type of thing. So I think you're going to really enjoy it. And more importantly, I hope you learn from what you see from what I do. Maybe you'll find a certain play that you just like and you just want to use it in your offense. That's kind of what it's all about. So again, I think this gives me like a nice variety of personnel groupings, compressed sets, trips, balance, what have you. Then we got the old school stuff, and just, you know, I think everything's going to be here that's going to be covered. It should be a lot of fun. I haven't set up my audibles. I'll worry about that later. To be honest, a lot of these passing plays have built-in answers for everything. You don't really need a lot of audibles, but I may think about over time maybe what to add to those. So for now, that gives you a good idea roughly of how we're going to handle it. You'll notice before we move on to our preseason stuff, over half of the playbook involves 2 back sets. And if you remember, my roster as of right now isn't all that great setting up for it. My fullback situation is kind of terrible, so we're definitely going to be recruiting that. That's a priority. That wasn't really our priority in the run and shoot. I only had like 1 fullback formation, and even then I was going to use the twin halfback sub package. Now it's very 2 halfback heavy, and I actually want to recruit true fullbacks for this offense, because there's actually some decent fullbacks that you can recruit that actually has decent hands. So again, you're going to see a lot of variety of personnel out here in terms of you're going to see the fullback get involved in the passing game, tight end, what have you. So it should be a lot of fun, and like I said, it's going to be a whole lot harder than what I was going to do before. Okay. With that being said, let's go to preseason options. Now, let's look at our conference schedule. I think we're in the Pac-10. Do we have 9 conference games or just 8? I can count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8, so there's 1 team every year that we're just not going to play. But as you can tell, out of the gate, number 3 USC, 23 Cal, 18 Arizona. Going to be a whole lot harder. Going to be a lot of fun, though. Back half the schedule, so that's 4 of them. I still want to play a non-conference team that's pretty stout. I've already got 2 of them right there. Open, let's do Idaho at home. They're really close. I'm perfectly fine with that. What we may do is the back half of the schedule, and it just kind of gives me an idea. I'm going to stick with 11 game schedule for now. I'm just kind of looking to see what recruiting, how that's going to affect. We got a home game at 8, 9, 12, and 13. So that's a pretty good back half home schedule. So I'm okay with that. Now, these 2, I'm going to... Arkansas, let's go... That's a tough schedule out of the gate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, I want to schedule 1 non-conference ranked team. I'm okay with that. And we can schedule a home team here. We'll just do a non-conference, obviously. Like SMU, what we can do, we could probably do... I could go at... we could have SMU come here and... No, I'm going to save them for later. I've stared at SMU stuff for so long. I want to take at least a year off from them. I'm sure they'll still be good by the time we play them. Let's pick another West Coast team like Nevada. That's okay. Idaho, Nevada. I think they're Mountain West, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Then it just gets pretty heavy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ranked teams on the schedule. Not bad. So we'll stick with that. I just want to do a hard travel road game, and that's going all the way across the country to Arkansas, so I think that'd be pretty cool. That I haven't been playing at their stadium in forever. Long, long time. So we'll do that. So I'm okay with that schedule. Strength of schedule's A. I think we're good there. Yes, I want to keep the schedule. Now, let's take a look at our roster a little bit. We didn't look at it all that hard towards the end of the last video because we had so much other stuff to do and not a whole lot of time to do it. Let's just kind of look and see what we're going to do for recruiting. Now, for regular season recruiting, I got to take some notes. I got to find out what our true priorities are. Okay, we got our quarterback situation. We got an impact guy. He's going to be our starter for the next 2 years at least. Unless he wants to go pro early after this year. Hopefully I can put up a ton of stats for him where he may want to go do that. Which means I've done my job. But he got a senior backup and a freshman redshirt behind him. But then we got the guy who can really turn our program around here in a couple of years, and that is Craig Thomas. So we're going to redshirt him. Pretty common sense there. Okay, this is pretty crucial. Now, the run and shoot offense, I just needed somebody who was big that can run. Now it's exact opposite. I need a halfback that can catch the ball, who's got a little speed to him, agility, all that good stuff. Now, we got 3 freshmen and 2 seniors. We'll probably redshirt this freshman. There's no need to play him. He's got 3 guys ahead of him. But, just looking here, Jarrett Wade, this guy's going to be a stud for me this year. But the rest of them can't catch to save their life. I need somebody with at least 65 catching overall. If you remember my Indiana Dynasty, I had a lot of running backs that had like 65 catch, and I can make it work. Your fullbacks can have 65 catch, and you could do something with that. But, of course, you want better. But it's just hard to find a halfback or a fullback that can really have awesome catch ratings. So, the fact that I got 2 seniors gone, which means I'll have 3 guys left, I still want to go find at least a couple, maybe 1 or 2 halfbacks that can really catch. The problem is, in regular season recruiting, you can't find it. The other problem is, and I didn't think about this. Let me go ahead and do that before I forget. We're going to go to coach options, and I've changed this up a little bit. Now, this is all simulation purposes. I talked about this in the last video. Playbook, that doesn't matter unless you simulate. Offensive type, this matters. It affects your recruiting. It affects the number of players you need per position. I went ahead and switched that to the West Coast. Okay, coaching strategy, and then simulation, and all this is strategy. But one thing I do want to point out right here is a lot of people think the West Coast offense is just passing 80% of the time, and that can't be further from the truth. I want to do what Bill Walsh done and like Norm Chow done back in the late 80s. And that was, I went back and looked at their stats, and Bill Walsh's teams for the 49ers, I mean, he went 50-50 a lot of times. So we're going to run the ball. We're not going to just throw it every single down. If I have awesome running backs, you better believe I'm going to give them the ball one way or another, via the air or on the ground. So I'm just going to leave it a 50-50 pass. Again, this doesn't affect me or anything, but I just wanted to point out sort of how my strategy is going to be. And we're not going to touch the 4-2-5. That's going to stay as is. Okay, now let's go back to our preseason options. Go back to the redshirt players. The halfback, we're going to redshirt him. Now the fullback. Now, I'm going to redshirt one. I mean, these guys, I'm going to try to maybe cut one after this year if it'll let me. Otherwise, this is a huge priority. So we're going to write down first halfback, and I'm going to put a big old question mark beside it, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But fullback, that's pretty obvious what we need there, because with a fullback, it tells you a type of fullback you need, and every one of those is either like a balance, blocking, or receiving, and we're definitely going to get receiving fullbacks. So we're definitely going to look at maybe a couple of those. I'm going to just put a 2 by it. Wide receiver. Okay, now I have in the playbook 2 4-wide sets, a bunch, and 4 wide receiver trips. The rest of it's 2 and 3 wide across the board, so I don't need a ton of receivers. But I still need some players, though. My best 2 by far is a junior and a senior. They're going to be gone before too long. And then we just got to hope some of these guys can get better. Now, this true sophomore, we could redshirt him. We got 4 guys ahead of him that's just as good as him or better. So I think that's an easy decision to make there. But I am going to put, if I can find an awesome receiver somewhere, you better believe I'm going to go after him. So I'm going to put a 1 right there for now. Tight end, this is huge. They are pivotal in this offense. I think, 7 of the 9 formations in my playbook has a tight end. So, yeah, this is kind of important. We got a junior and a sophomore. I'm going to write down tight end. I want at least 1. So I'm going to put just a 1 there for now. But we're not going to redshirt Bridges. We're going to go to him a lot this year. Tackles, I need a backup for every single one of them. I'd love the redshirt Vaughn. I kind of done that last season. At SMU, I went with 3 guys and I redshirted a freshman. But it kind of hurt us somewhat when we had our second string out there. But the game does let me redshirt if I want to, because we got a sophomore and a senior and a junior. I'm going to redshirt him for now, and if I could get by with it, that'll be great. That saves me a year, and he'll be probably ready to go to start at left tackle next season. Right guard, we got to have this guy start, so we're not going to do anything here. Center, it's pretty obvious. We're going to redshirt Stovall, the freshman. We won't need him this year. We got a backup for Alfred. Defensive end, now this is 4-2-5 stuff, so let me think here. Okay, 4 down linemen. Moving Aaron Martin was like the best move I made in the offseason. He's just going to be a stud for us for a couple years. Junior, and we got another senior. Now, we got 4 pretty solid dudes here, so I wonder... The only problem is this guy's slower than Moses. his awareness is okay. I almost want to, because I got a senior. Oh, I don't know. He's so slow. I kind of want to redshirt the guy and have Harris start on the other end. I got nobody else to redshirt because Harris will be gone and Whitaker could probably start in his place next season. And I got decent backups behind a couple of these guys. So let me just redshirt Whitaker. So I'm kind of thinking for next season for him. Thankfully, I got bodies here that can back up a little bit. Defensive tackle, we're not going to redshirt the sophomore. He's our best defensive tackle. At least we got some bodies here, though. Not the best bodies, but we'll definitely have to recruit that. Let me go ahead and just see. Defensive tackle, we got 3 sophomores and a junior. I'm going to at least put a 1 right there. And one thing I do need to go back and look. I didn't do this. Tackle, they're 1, 1, 1, 1. I'd like to find at least 1. Let me just put tackle at a 1. Guard, gosh, at least we need to find, we need talent everywhere. It's pretty obvious. I'm going to put a 1 for the guard. Center, yeah, let's just put a 1. I'd like to get 1 of everybody. That'd be nice. Okay, linebacker. This is our outside linebacker. We only have 1 that's going to be out in the field the entire time. We got a sophomore and a freshman. It's pretty obvious which one's better. So we're going to redshirt the true freshman. Middle linebacker. This is where it gets kind of interesting. I got a redshirt senior. He'll definitely be my starter. I could probably redshirt a bunch of these guys. I can at least redshirt these 2 freshmen. All 3 of them. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And I'll have Copeland as a backup, just for being a junior. And I'm guessing this kid right here, Pearson, he'll probably be a defensive end for me down the line. So I'm okay with that. Middle linebacker's no different than outside linebacker. In the 4-2-5, you're going to have 1 out there at a time. 4-2-5. We don't need a whole lot of bodies at corner. I probably got too many in recruiting, but the ones I did pick up, like this Weatherford kid, that was a must-have. That was a great pickup by me. This kid right here just as well. So we're going to be good at corner for a while. But we don't have much behind them. So I think I'm just going to redshirt 1 of them. We'll probably just redshirt. Gosh. Let's red this one. He's a little bit smarter, and he's not as fast, but he's a little bit stronger, and he can tackle a little bit better. Let's redshirt Taylor. That way, when he's gone, these 2 guys will be my starters for the next several years, I would guess, unless I find some crazy, awesome talent there down the line. So I'm not too worried about that. And again, I keep forgetting to look at this. Outside linebacker, forgive me for backtracking, but outside linebacker, we don't technically need a new guy. We got a sophomore there. He'll be my starter for a long time, so I'm not worried about outside linebacker yet. Middle linebacker, we got bodies. I'm not worried about that. Because at defensive end, we got some bodies. I may just go middle linebacker just for 1, just because of how useful they can be at a lot of positions. Corner, we don't need to worry about anybody there. Free safety, we're good here. I don't know who I'm going to start. It's probably going to be Hicks, because he's got the speed. My 4-2-5, my free safety is a true center fielder. I need somebody who can cover field quickly. So it's pretty obvious Hicks is going to be my starter. I definitely need some speed here. This guy just has no awareness whatsoever. That's why he's a safety. But I can't redshirt anybody here. Strong safety, this is the most important position, the 4-2-5. These top 2 guys, the sophomore, the junior, Coley and Estes, are going to be my starters. That gives me an opportunity to redshirt all 3 of these freshmen for now. I may not redshirt him. I can have him back up for this guy, because I don't know if this guy will ever see the field. But I'll at least have a backup just in case somebody gets hurt or whatnot. So I'm not too worried about him. Kicker, true freshman, we're good there. Punter, true freshman, we're good there. Okay, so that's all the redshirting. Now we're going to go to the roster itself. And we are going to go edit rosters. No, depth chart. Okay, yeah, this is kind of important. Okay, we got our 3 quarterbacks. Let me just kind of look here. We know Jenkins is going to start, but who needs to be his backup? We got a senior and a redshirt freshman. Let's just look at their stats. Now, quarterback, when it comes to West Coast offense, accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. If I can find it, here we go. Hall's got much better accuracy than Rucker. So we're going to have him start over him. Again, it's just for 1 year, and this guy's a senior. But just in case Jenkins goes down, Hall could be there, and he could probably handle the load. So I'm okay with all that. Wade, Woolridge, let's just look at some of their catch ratings. 74, and say this is going to be kind of tough. So I don't have a lot of good pass catchers in the backfield. So I don't know how much I'm going to use of the two-back sets. I'll use them a little bit this year, but it's obvious my talent is at tight end and at receiver. So I'm okay with the way everybody's set up right here. He's our most important dude this year, Jarrett Wade. If he goes down, then our entire West Coast offense is going to get pretty hard to play with this season. So please do not get hurt this year. Fullback, I'll do a backup for Woolridge. I'm going to do the twin halfback set or sub package all year. So I'm okay with leaving that as is. Now we're getting down to, we got 4 decent wide receivers. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're all going to see the field a whole lot this year. Junior, sophomore, junior. Awareness. This kid's got better awareness. But he's not as good as a catcher. 72. I like to have speed at the number 3 spot because I got a couple third and long plays that need the slot to be pretty fast. So I'm okay with listing these 4 as is. I don't think this is going to matter a whole lot. Tight end, we're set here. We got a couple of guys who got some speed. This guy can't catch all that great, but we do have Bridges. My best personnel set is technically 11 personnel, just by kind of looking at it. Okay, left tackle. Do I have a backup left tackle? It must be a right tackle. Right tackle. Oh, I redshirted him, didn't I? That's what it was. We're going to leave it as is for now. Left guard. This will be my starter here. We got an 80 and a 76. So I think awareness impacts how good they are in pass blocking and kind of noticing what's coming in terms of blitzes. They're about the same. Pass block is much better with Pierman. So we're going to have him start. And let me just look here. 80 and a 76. Let's get these centers fixed. If I can, let's do it there. Okay. Right guard, 91-78. That's pretty obvious what we're going to do there. And right tackle, 82 and 80. So I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to have my starting right tackle be my backup left. We'll do that. Okay. So the line is set. We got a pretty decent line. Hopefully they can block for us this year. Okay. 93-84 on defensive end, and Harris is my other one, and he's backing him up, and I'm okay with all that right there. It's going to be Martin and Harris, more or less. Okay, and just to make sure, Martin is my true left end. Okay, I kind of need to know that because we're still going to run a lot of quarters, and I'm going to show you why in the next video, why that's important, because he's the only one that's got speed on the edge. And that quarters play in the 4-2-5 has one of your defensive ends going out in the flat, which is pretty cool. Okay, defensive tackle. That looks okay. 85. This kid's a little bit bigger. Can he tackle? We got to have gun over Brown. We need better bodies here, that's for sure. Outside linebacker. Now, Brumfield's going to start. It's weird they got both of them there. That makes no sense how they can make that work. So I wonder which one they're going to have start. Right outside linebacker or the left outside linebacker. I'll have to fool with that in the formation subs and see how that plays out. Again, I'm kind of new to the... I'm going to put Copeland here. There we go. I'm kind of new to the 4-2-5 and sort of how it's handled. So that's going to be another adventure all to and of itself. Okay, corners. We got impact corner, 80, 78. And we're going to have Weatherford. I'll probably start him over this Richard Sr. Let me go back to awareness. It's much better. Weatherford will probably be my punt return guy if I had to guess. So I'm kind of good with all that for now. Free safety. Who's going to start? It's going to be Hicks. I need the speed there. It doesn't matter who starts here. Both of them are going to be on the field. Kicker, we're okay there. Punter, we're okay there. Kick return. I want speed here. We'll do Weatherford, give him something to do because he's not going to be out on the field a whole lot. I got pull, but can he catch? I don't even think he can catch. 59. I need somebody who can't fumble it. So I guess we're going to have to start going to some receivers here. We'll do that. We'll do Weatherford, Rogers, and Woods. How about that? Weatherford, Rogers, Woods. Kickoff. Who's got just the better leg? Kick power and kick accuracy, they're like dead even. One's 86 and 82, the other one's 84 and 84. We'll just have the kicker do it. If I can find it. We'll do Burton. Long snapper, we'll just do our center and the backup center. Okay, now let's just go to who our captains are going to be, and it's going to be all based on this. I'm guessing this is the captain. That's correct. And defense, it's probably Banks, and it is, and I'm fine with that. Okay, another cool thing. I may have mentioned this in the last video, but their program prestige... I'm an idiot. Their discipline is down, which is going to be helpful. So we are set there. Let's go to formation subs. I'm curious to see how this is going to be handled with the 4-2-5. Let's go defense. They like to put the right outside linebacker as a starter. Okay. Which is correct anyway, so I guess the right outside linebacker is the go-to. Okay. What else am I missing before we get into recruiting? Let's just go to Athlon Sports. Let's look at all this preseason stuff. Preseason polls. I'm just kind of looking at some Pac-10 schools. USC, Arizona State, Cal, Oregon State, Stanford 28th. I mean, some pretty good teams, and we are down somewhere. We are 50th. We're B- across the board. We're about as average as you can be. Heisman watch. I'm sure none of us will be on here. Mark Sanchez is, though. Oregon State receiver. Fresno State quarterback. South Carolina receiver. Okay. Let's go to preseason All-Americans. I don't know if we'll have anybody on here. Let's go through here. Not seeing it. Let's go to the Pac-10. Do we have anybody first team? Not a one. Hopefully that will change in the postseason. Second team. We got one. Strong safety. Tyler Rowland. And I'm positive I got him as one of my starters, don't I? Surely I do. Let's go and find out. I better check to make sure I got a ton of strong safeties this year. And he's my backup. I don't even have him starting. But, I mean, the other two guys are better than him, so it is what it is. Okay. We got that out of the way. Now let's go to recruiting. That should be all that's left. Okay, I wrote down my notes. Now, we got Washington. I want to make Oregon a pipeline, even though there ain't going to get much talent out of there. And I'm trying to think of all the remaining states that are close to us. We're thinking Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Nevada. Those states aren't going to produce much talent, but we're going to try. And more importantly, California. We're going to get a lot of players out of there. We've got no choice. That's the closest big pipeline state that we have. And let's just go through all the states to make sure I know my pipelines. They got California as a pipeline one, which is good. Idaho is not one, but I want to make it into one, even though it's not going to produce much talent. They may have Oregon. Oregon's not even a pipeline. And that could be it. Washington, obviously. Now, it's pretty good. You look at here, Washington actually produces some talent. It's not terrible. It's a whole lot better than Oregon. Still going to be a challenge, though. And Canada. We're going to go after some Canadian players. No reason not to. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm in the Pac-10. This is big boy football now, so I'm going to go after 4 and 5-star kids. There's no reason for me not to. If there's a 3-star kid out there that fits my offense perfectly, you better believe I'm going to go after him. But otherwise, I'm going to try to get the best talent I can and try to prove that I'm the best recruiter in the country. And that's going to be super hard because not a lot of players want to go to Pullman right now. So we'll see how all that shakes out. Okay? Now, let's go to Washington first. Let's just go through our pipelines. Go to Washington. Halfback, 3-star kid. Speed, he probably can catch a little bit, I would guess. I may go after him, but we'll see. It's not a huge need. Fullback, nothing there, unfortunately. 4-star receiver. 6'2", 190. Good speed. His awareness isn't all that great, but I mean, he's got the body, and he's close. So I may just go ahead and put a scholarship on him. We're going to lock down our state, at least get the good players. Tackle, we need somebody, but we could probably do better from there. Defensive tackle, let's go after this 4-star kid. He's a top 50 guy. We need bodies here in the worst way. Here's a 3-star kid that's a little bit smaller, not as smart, just a little bit lesser of a player. But for now, we're going to put it on Miller. We don't really need any linebacker help, according to my notes. So I'm not worried about that kid, even though I like his stats. Middle linebacker, 6 feet, 225. That looks like a true middle linebacker to me. He's smart. We'll wait for now on that one. We got more important needs. Corner, we really don't need anybody. 6'5", 180, though. Jeez. Man. And gosh, that's an ideal corner. Let's go ahead and put a scholarship on him just so I don't forget. I mean, 6'5" corner. I mean, come on. Free safety, I don't think that's a priority. It's not. And strong safety, it's not a priority. So that's 3 guys that will fit what we're trying to do. Now let's go to Canada before we go to California, because there's not a whole lot here. Only 5 players. We don't need bodies. 6'5", 205, 4'4", That's some awesome speed for a strong safety. I may go after him because that's such an important need for us, or just in general for the defense. Here's a 4-star receiver, 4'3", He's kind of little, but he's a 4-star. Center, I'm not worried about that right now. Let's wait on this kid just for now. Let's look at California first. I got 8 scholarships to play with, so I'm pretty sure I'll come back to him. Quarterback, it's not a need. Halfback, you just don't know. Here's the other thing. I'm hoping my run balance or my run-pass ratio will be balanced enough to where I can attract halfbacks in the offseason. If you go all-out passing, there's not going to be many halfbacks that want to come to your school. And the problem is you can't tell from here if they got good hands that can catch. You can see that in the offseason, but you can't in the regular season until you actually put a scholarship on this kid or on any of them. So I'm hesitant to put a scholarship on any of them just so I can look and see what they got. So I'm just going to wait on the halfbacks for now. Fullbacks, I kind of need somebody that's a receiving fullback. At least we can see that. Too bad it doesn't say receiving tendency for a running back. But this guy doesn't fit what we need. Ton of 4-star receivers here. Let's just take your pick. They're all kind of the same thing, more or less. Again, we don't know if they can catch well or not. I got to have good hands everywhere. Tight end, this is important. If I can find somebody that can fit what I want to do, this would be great. But both of them are blocking. Tackle, I'd rather take my chances here than the 3-star kid that was local. Like this kid right here, A+, and look at his squat. Dang. I want to go after that kid. Guard. We got these 2 guys. They are the exact same player. One's 2 inches taller, but they're exact same players. Let's go after him. Center, I'd like to go after one. We got 2 4-stars here. They're the exact same player. One's 1 inch taller. I don't think it matters, so we'll just go there. Defensive end, I'm not worried about that right now. Defense tackle, here's another 4-star kid. I don't like his weight. Let me circle defensive tackle for now. Outside linebacker, we don't need it. Don't need it. Corner, not a big deal. Free safety, strong safety is not a big deal. So that gives us 5. So now I want to go around to some other states. Stuff that's close. Arizona is much farther off than we think. I mean, they produce halfway decent talent, but I'm not going to turn that into a pipeline. Arkansas, California, Colorado, possibly. I wish you can look at the map from here, but you can't. I want to go. Let's keep going. Georgia, Hawaii. I'm not going to turn that to a pipeline state. I mean, they just don't produce enough, and I think it costs you a lot of points to recruit it. Idaho. Idaho is right beside us. I would like to turn this to a pipeline state. Now, they don't produce a lot of talent, but I think they produce just as much talent as Oregon. So, Idaho. Here's another 4-star kid, 495, 715. Let's go after him. Middle linebacker, it's not a big need right now. Here's another 4-star defensive tackle. Oh, he's not the strongest dude out there. Oh, that's all of them altogether. Let's go ahead and put a scholarship on the defense tackle. We need some bodies there. Now, I also want to go to, let's just keep going here. Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri. Montana, 3-star, he's a power kid. That's not a need. Nebraska, Nevada, 4-star strong safety, but we got bodies there. Tight end, balanced. James Harvey. We're going to look at, defensive tackle, fullback. I got 3 spots left, so we probably need to go ahead and do this. Defensive tackle, fullback, and tight end. Those last 3 spots, we're going to go to the positions themselves. Let's just go all the way back to all states. We're going to go to fullback first. Let's see if we can find anybody that's remotely close to where we're at. Like this kid, I'd love to have this kid, but he's all the way from Tennessee. That'd be cool, but there's just not a whole lot here on the fullback side of things. We got 2 receiving guys, North Carolina, Tennessee. Like I said, I don't mind going after a true fullback with this playbook or offense. Oh, gosh. Let's go to tight ends. Maybe this will be a little bit easier. West Virginia, 6'8", 247. That kid's humongous. I'm going to take a chance on him. You just never know. We may get lucky. Shoot for the stars on that one. Illinois, that's not too far out. He's balanced. All these kids are about balanced, aren't they? They're either balanced or blocking. Definitely want to go for the balanced ones. Missouri, Illinois, North Carolina, Illinois. 2 Illinois kids. I'm just going to do the 1 tight end for now. Defensive tackle, we're already going after a couple of these kids, but if I can find one that's really beefy, I'll do it. We got the Washington kid, Tennessee, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Virginia, California kid, 6'5", 285, not the strongest. 605. This kid's not the strongest either, but I want to create a pipeline. I might as well just go after him. Like these 2 kids right here. Like this one right here is probably the best looking one of the bunch. He's out of Pennsylvania, and I'm not going to recruit him. Unless there's a big mamma jamma somewhere that's really strong. And I'm not seeing it. No, I'm just not really seeing it. So we got 2 more spots. We could take a chance on another fullback. Let's go after that Tennessee kid. Let's see if we can get lucky. He may be interested. This kid's the real deal. Wow, look at that. He's much bigger, and he's stronger, and he's smarter than the Tennessee kid. Let's take a chance on the best one of the bunch. Let's just go after that one. So the last thing I want to look at is free safety. It says I need another free safety, which is interesting. Okay. I guess we're going to go after a free safety for our last spot. California kid, 6'2", 441. Mississippi. Canada, 443. 6'3", 190. 6'2", 190. 325, 495. 340, 495. let's do the Canada kid, because we're going to get plenty of California kids. This may help with our pipeline in Canada. So let's try him. 4.43. I like to find one a little bit faster, but it ain't going to work out with those two guys. So let's give it a shot with this Canadian. Not him. Where's he at? There he is. Okay, that's all of our scholarships. Now let's go to play week. Let's simulate the first week, get that out of the way, then we'll distribute our points. Now, in the last season, we distributed our points much evenly. Just everybody kind of got a little bit, and we just kind of worked off of that, and it just kind of worked out that I got 10 commitments. I want to continue that. I want to see if it works or not again. I don't want to go off just one season and say, hey, yes, this is the way to do it. I was pleased with the results of last season, but I was an established program. We were winning left and right. I wonder if that had an effect on that recruiting. Okay. And one thing I didn't look at is where they had us in the... dang it, I didn't look to see where they had us in the Pac-10. I'm sure they had us like in the back end. That's not a big deal. Okay. Let's just look here if anybody likes us out of the gate. This tackle, Idaho, he already likes one of our pitches, so we'll definitely just put like 8 on him for now. Let's just look at the rest of these. If there's like a negative, I'm not going to bother. Another positive defensive tackle out of Washington. That's good. We'll definitely go 8 on him for now. We're not going to go after this corner. It's a negative pitch. It's going to be really hard. But nobody seems to really like it. Here's a free safety. It has this kind of high. This is a Canadian kid. Let's go ahead and just do the 8 on him. Let's do 10 now since we're not going to go with that corner. Let's look at this fullback. Can he catch? Hands or a B? A B for a fullback is actually not that good. You actually need somebody who can catch a little bit better. We're low on his list, so I'm not going to bother with him. I think we could do better. Plus, we could go get halfbacks and do twin halfback sub packages if needed. So I don't think he's honestly good enough for what we're trying to do. And that's going to be hard to recruit to get a North Carolina kid. I just don't think that's going to work out. So let's look at the rest of these guys. We are number 3 on this tight ends list out of West Virginia. A+ hands, 4'6", 5', 6'8", 247. He's Gronkowski. I mean, that's Gronk right there in a nutshell. You better believe we're going to go after that kid. We're going to go 10 for now. We got one tackle, and here's another one that likes it, or that's got us pretty high on his list. Let's just go after him. Go 10. I think the rest of these, we're going to go just 10 the rest of the way. The strong safety, we're down on his list, but I really like his stats. I mean, he looks pretty good. So I don't mind going after him for a little bit and see what changes. The fullback, we're not going to bother. The center, let's look at the center. He's low on the list. But who knows? We may have a chance. We'll see. We'll go 10. We're going to go 10 for the receiver unless he's just got bad hands. A-, that's good enough. And we need some bodies here badly. We'll go 10 here. And this defensive tackle, probably going to go 10 here. 4.88. We need big-time bodies here. Idaho. Let's go 10 here. Okay. We're going after these 10 guys, and we'll just fluctuate the points as the season goes on and see who we get. But at least we're going after some big-time players, it appears. Okay? Okay, that is it. Come on back for the next video. We'll kick off the season against Idaho. That's a good little starter game to kind of get used to the new offense, new defense. Then we'll take on Nevada. Then we'll start getting real funky with the rest of the schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be a challenge, and I can't wait to get the ball rolling. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.